sudden, I didn't get anything. And I
Yeah,
figured, all right,
it be like that, bro.
so maybe because it's the weekend.
en mi corazón.
Hello, everybody. We are back on the Cantina MX podcast, and as a man of my word, we have the America himno going on right now because we bet that if America was to win, we would play it on the next episode.
I wanted to
Anyways,
hear the new one. The
uh,
one they played for their centenario. And then never again.
yes. Welcome everybody to the show, episode 350, a controversial super clasico, and we're gonna be talk about the game, talk about the goal. Well, like my friend Cascarita Legend said, Schrodinger's cat. You know, the ball is both in and out. We're gonna talk about that. We got some partidos moleros this weekend, so Liga MX will take a break. We're gonna have Mexico versus Peru on Saturday. Hopefully, Joel will be present at that match, and then they'll come over here to the Bay Area at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara with Colombia, and I'll be there covering the match. So excited about that. We also got some fan mail that we're gonna go over this episode, and we're live on Twitter Spaces. So if you're listening in, hop on, request to speak, and we can hear your take on the Clasico and see if you were on the winning or losing end of that. But Joel, how are we doing tonight?
Good hang, except I thought you were going to the Pasadena game.
No.
I don't know if I want to go now.
Nah, you gotta go. You gotta go, man.
It's like a 2-hour drive for me, so I don't know.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, with traffic, yeah.
Hey man, 2 hours to go see a Chivas player play against his own country. I mean, that's priceless, bro.
Yeah, I do think that one is going on the record books because it's the first time in history, at least in known history.
Yeah, I mean, well, what about Sendejas? No?
Yeah, but to play against, yeah, you played against Mexico.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Chivas are breaking a lot of rules, but obviously Ormeño got called up for the national team for Peru, and he is expected to make the trip. And
They're not breaking rules. I mean, no.
well, this is a first for everybody. This is a first historical thing. And then we obviously have Sendejas, who had at one point played for Chivas, and now he's at America. Author of the second goal on Saturday, and might play for the United States. We don't know yet. But welcome Al Pastor to the show.
Thank you, gentlemen. Hope you're having a great night, a great start to your week.
Thank you, sir. I am.
Pastor.
Joel, you're always washing dishes, man. What's going on with you?
Where are you guys hearing water?
We can hear everything you're doing, dog.
Oh, hey. Hoy no estoy de mandilón.
Al Pastor, so talk to me, man. What are your first thoughts on this Chivas America Clasico we had on Saturday? Obviously, America won 2-1 with a bit of help. But how are you feeling?
Man, I want to say a bit of help, but at the end of the day, I got to be critical on our own guys. Olivas, what are you doing, buddy? PK, first 3 minutes. Like, come on now. After that, Nene Beltran, we've been riding his nuts all season. My man disappeared all game. His most action was the ref giving him a red card. So I expect, especially the first half. Second half he did all right, but first half, where was Nene? Where was Flores? Like, where was our midfield? And another thing, Cadena, we're losing 2-1. He subs out Vega,
Yep.
and I know like I know a commentator said Chivas has never beat America while Vega's playing. Vega has never scored on America. But at the end of the day, he was our most dangerous guy on the field. And you saw now for Ormeño, like, come on now. And then he took out Piojo for, can't remember who he took out Piojo for. Who was it? Perez?
Pavel.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing, Cadena? Like, that's the subs you make when you're up 2-1, not losing 2-1. So I had a lot of questions, man. I had a lot of questions. But my biggest concern was Nene and Vega. They talked a little bit of smack before the game. I don't know where Nene was all game.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Thanks for reminding me a lot of what happened during the game because I kind of blacked out. Um, yeah, with the penalty within the first like 5 minutes of the match, it's like, all right, it's gonna be one of those nights. And I'll be honest, for America being in the position that they're in with the players that they have, having the home field, having everything in their favor, I was unimpressed with the what we actually saw on the field. For majority of the game, I feel like Chivas were sort of dictating and commanding the match. Obviously, they didn't have the goals to back it up, but I was disappointed with America, man. This should have been like a display of clear superiority, and I didn't see that. I just didn't see that.
Pues, ¿qué
Um,
querías? ¿Que nos golearan o qué?
well, yeah, I mean, if you're in first place, you got a 9-game winning streak. Obviously, it got broken against Santos, but I expected them to be like, all right, let's prove that we're the better team, and to go 2-1, I'm not convinced, man. Especially with the quality of players that they have. Um, and Chivas, like I, with Ricardo taking out our most dangerous player, I don't know if maybe there was like an injury. I don't know if like La Selección asked to rest him. Like I really don't know like what happened there. But yeah, those substitutions were a little bit questionable to say the least.
And speaking of questionable, Amaury at the Canelo fight instead of the game.
Oh yeah. You had Canelo. Um I don't know like he didn't go out of his way to like say that he was at the Canelo fight, but um yeah, there was a photo taken of Amaury and Canelo together, and
What was he doing over there? Was he asking for a sponsorship? Was he saying, hey, Canelo, you're from Guadalajara. Chivas is struggling. You got to save the institution. Like,
yeah,
what is going on, man? Like this is one of the one of the biggest criticisms I always had for Jorge was that he was too hands on. I'm like, hey man, let the professionals do their job. This is what you're paying them for.
right.
But Amadi's like the total opposite. It's like le vale madre. It's like you don't care.
Yeah, and we've had people in the past, media fans, say that his attention is divided at best, and he doesn't really have intentions with Chivas. Like, seems like he's doing a lot more. And I mean, this just goes to show you don't show face in the biggest match of the season. Um, but I mean, he doesn't have to be there, but it does help. It's like it just goes to show your intentions. Um, I didn't see any signs of Pelas either, so I don't know what's going on with him. He's been really hiding in the shadows.
You know what? Now that you mention it, I had not even thought about that. Like, there's no interview after. Usually he's praying the rosary in the suite.
Yeah,
Nothing. There's no images of him. I didn't even realize that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, real quick, Joel, I did have to mute you. So whenever, hopefully you're not talking into the thing right now. But yeah, you just unmute yourself when you're ready to when you're finished on dish duty, Joel. um, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Pelas. He's not showing his face, and we got to talk about the controversy. Was it Ormeño that headed that ball? I forgot who headed that ball.
I don't think Ormeño was in the game by then. I
Oh,
think
okay.
it was because that was before Chipotle scored, right? think Ormeño was not in yet. I don't remember who it was, but all I know is on that replay, they only showed. So I was watching it on Canal Cinco, and Canal Cinco showed like one replay, and that was it. So I don't know if it was like bias or what.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know like do the end it didn't show anything until like after, and it was all right. So when I saw the play, I'm like, it was too like in live action. That's a tough one to call. It has to be like quite obvious, like for it to be like the referee to like to call it a goal. But like, don't we have like goal line technology, man? Like, what has like FIFA been doing in the last like 20 years? Because I remember at one point they were experimenting with like putting like a chip inside the ball, and it would notify like the referees that the ball crossed the line. So
It's too expensive. You want to know something crazy? La Liga doesn't have goal line technology.
really,
It's just too expensive. It's the way the big bosses see it is rather have a controversy 2 3 games out of the season
uh huh.
than invest like 20 million into it.
Oh, is that how much it costs?
Yeah, it's just like super expensive, and like for the amount of times it happens through the season when there's controversy, it's just not worth them paying to it. The only tournaments that have it is Premier League, Champions League, World Cup, Euros.
Oh, damn.
Like the top tournaments. But La Liga don't have it. Other top tournaments don't have it. So yeah, MLS don't have it. Yeah.
I wonder why it costs so much. Cause like my like, I guess you have to like embed the whole ball in some kind of like chip or something. Cause it has to be the whole ball, right? You can't just be like the center of the ball. It has to be. Yeah, I guess it's a little bit tricky, but I don't know, bro. There's like NFC now. I mean, I feel like there's so many like Bluetooth. Like, I feel like there's ways to do this. Like,
Yeah, the part that just I don't understand is, I mean, there's like plays where they're less controversial, and the ref goes to VAR. He looks at the screen.
uh
He
huh.
talks on his headpiece like for 20 minutes, and this was like a 1 2 minute thing. And let's go. Let's keep going. I'm like, come on now.
Yeah.
Like, go look at it. Show like 3 4 6 different angles. No, it's just like a quick 1 2, no goal. Let's go. I was like, come on now.
Yeah. Yeah. The fact that the referee didn't even like bother looking at it, it's what adds to the controversy. But I'll be honest, man. Like, I don't think it's a classico without some sort of, you know, controversial event that happens. Like, I think that's like every classico always. Like, when I think about like the ones in the past that I still think of today, like I remember there was one classico in particular where it was back and forth. It was in El Azteca. It was in the early 2000s, and like Ramon Morales like missed a penalty kick, and it got to like the wire, and Chivas were hanging on for dear life. They had the lead, and then like literally the last play of the game, America has it in Chivas's like goal, and Hector Reynoso with like both hands dives to save the ball, and like it was like the most obvious handball ever, but it wasn't called, and then that's how the game ended, and like obviously it was like a huge talking point for the rest of the week, and like that's just the kind of shit that happens in a classico. Like there's gonna be some controversy, there's gonna be a play that doesn't go your way, and that's like kind of part of like the history of the game. And I don't know, man, like I was expecting something like this.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If there's no controversy, then what's going on? Uh, but like I said in the beginning, I think Chivas disappointed on different levels, from players to coaching staff, from substitutions to midfield to Olivas in the beginning. One thing I did like, Wacho, he definitely mentally recovered from those mistakes he made against Tigres. He looked very solid. I still don't think he's at that level of where people are trying to put him at, like Oswaldo Sanchez and
No,
that.
definitely not.
I still think he's a second string goalie, but he's still responding well for the most part. But yeah, man, hopefully now it's just make it to Liguilla y a ver qué pasa.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you put anybody in the back of the net, it's not going to change the outcome of the game. Although he might have done a little bit better on Zendejas' goal, maybe, maybe not. But man, talk about salt in an open wound. You know, you talk about a player that had been at Chivas in like 2016. Really never got the opportunity, and went to Necaxa. Had a great spell over there. Now he's at America. I would say this is probably the best moment of his career. Maybe trying to squeeze into a World Cup roster. We don't know, but if you're Zendejas, I mean, how satisfying was it to score against your ex?
You know, I would say that I don't even think he sees it as an X because, like you mentioned, he was never really given a chance.
Mm-hmm.
There's some picture floating around. It's like him and Vega promoting that summer tournament in the U.S. What is called the
The Leagues Cup.
IC, the International
Oh,
Champions Cup.
uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's like it says like Chivas winger Sendejas, Chivas forward Vega, and they're like both promoting it. But he was never like really given a chance here.
Yeah.
And there's like one big argument that I have with Chiva Hermanos is when they say, "Man, how come he didn't ball out like that here?" And I'll be like, "Bro, it's not the same to ball out when you're playing like with Fidalgo, Henry Martin, Viñas, Roger Martinez, Jonathan Dos Santos, to playing like with Vega and like 2, 3 average guys.
Yeah.
Like, of
But
course,
but
you're gonna ball out better when you're playing with ballers.
it's not just that. Like, I mean, I agree with what you said, but sometimes it could be the coach or just the playing system. Because you could be in a team that sucks and still ball out and still stand out as a player. Um, so I do think who whoever is in charge at the time, if they give you enough playing time or you just fit in well with that, you'll look good no matter what, even if your teammates aren't that good.
Yeah,
You
and
could
that's
still
something that
shine.
America has done really well. It doesn't matter who the coach is; they always play that style where they have the two wingers cut in, and they have like a striker like sitting there. Like their playing style, you might who is it? Man, I can't remember his name. The one that won the bet. Um, man, was he's always on here? He won the bet.
Talking about Ricardo?
What, Ricardo?
But yeah, Ricardo. Like Ricardo might argue the 4-3-3 works, doesn't work. But for the most part, America plays with two wingers that like are very good at cutting in, and then a nice solid striker. Like their style hasn't changed that much, and they're very good at finding those wingers. As opposed to Chivas, they're always experimenting different styles.
Yeah, when they went through all those coaches,
And
and even before, like the recent coaching carousel when they had Cardoso and they had Thomas Roy and the list goes on. And then even before that, you had another long line of coaches, and each one would come in with their own ideas. And I do think that ended up affecting some of the younger players. Because every other season was like a whole different system. With a bunch of players that hadn't even consolidated.
one thing that I've noticed with Chivas is it's really hard to break into the first team if you're like new. Cause look at like Chapo, look at Ponce, look at Brizuela, man. They've been at the club for like a long ass time, and like no one's really been able to dethrone them. Even though we bring in players like Mozo and who's the guy that we loaned out to Cruz Azul? I forgot his name.
Loaned out to Cruz Azul.
Yeah, we loaned him out to Cruz Azul and Pumas. And he
Oh, Mayorga.
Mayorga, yeah, like I don't know what it is about like I don't know if they just have so much pull because they've been at the club for so long and like they just have like a contract where they play majority of the matches, but like I don't know, man. I feel like it's been the same Chivas team for a very long time, and like when you're a young player and maybe I mean, let's talk about Zendejas. He's like a pocho, He he played for the United States, and then Chivas asked him to switch sides and to stop taking call ups. So I'm sure like going into that locker room, and it's like a Mexican only like locker room. I'm sure there was some like he was not like fitting in with the team or something. Because like, you hear that a lot, right? You hear that a lot about players that just kind of get pushed to the side, and it doesn't make sense though because like they're refuerzos, so like you would think that Chivas would use them, but a lot of the times these players just like ride the pine. Like Alexis Pena, we bought him from Necaxa, and I don't think he ever played for Chivas. It was like weird, man.
Yeah, and you bring up a great point, something I completely forgot. Why did Chapo start? Like, I love Chapito for everything he's given to Chivas in the past, but why did he start? He should not be starting a Clásico. And I know, I'm pretty sure Cadena, when he started him, he was going back based on history. Like, Chapito's not going to get smoked. He's not going to get beat on that side because he loves the jersey. It's tattooed on his body. Like, he's going to give his heart. He's going to die for the jersey. Man, it don't matter how much attempt you have if you no longer have the pace, the talent, the skill to keep up with the talent America has on that wing is like pointless. Like to me, I did not understand that. You know what it reminded me of? Another stupid move when Aguirre started Bofo against Argentina in 2010. And the reason Aguirre started Bofo because Bofo played well against Boca Juniors. So he said, he has a good game against Argentinians, so he's probably going to do well also. I'm like, why are you dwelling in the past? Chapito should have not started that game.
Yeah.
Spineros.
But going into the World Cup in the friendly games, because they played, I think it was Holland, Italy, I don't know who else. Buffalo looked good in those games, which he ended up
We played
like
against an
winning.
African team too. Yeah.
It's how he ended up, winning the spot. And then he had been looking good. Was he playing at Juarez at the time? He was carrying that team. I know he looked ass in that match, and it was the only match he played. And I agree with you. Like for a player that hadn't been getting any playing time, and then to throw him in that match,
It
I do feel
was
that.
Yeah, I just think it was a dumb decision. And same with Chapito. Like, I get what you were trying to go with, like jersey over anything, like the emotions that he's running through him. But no, he should not started.
yeah.
He's not at the level that the young America talent's at.
Speaking about America, Pastor, you mentioned about how like where was the midfield? Where was Nene? Where was dude? Freaking Fidalgo, bro. God damn, that guy's like that guy. Like I don't watch America games, but god damn, bro.
Baller.
That guy's the fucking hungry hippo, bro. He just takes all the balls in his mouth,
Yeah.
bro.
They want to naturalize him already. They want him
This
to
conversation
naturalize
is going somewhere else.
Yeah, that's one good thing Solari did for America. Definitely brought them on. That dude he went pro with America. He had never played first division before playing with America.
I wonder if he could like is he eligible to play for the national team if he was to get
Yeah, he hasn't played for Spain.
oh
As long
see
as he becomes a Mexican citizen, if he wants to, yeah.
I'm down for the cause. We don't have a player like that.
It takes a couple of years, though. I don't know how many.
I mean,
To
he's
be
been there
in
at
Max.
least two. I think it was like five.
Remember when Piojo took over the selección and he was also coaching America and they were trying to get fucking Rubens like expedited.
Oh yeah, Rumbe Sambuesa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can happen. You never know.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen this cycle, but that is a great player, man. That he did a great job. Also, the center backs for America, props to them because they actually did do a great job. There was a play with Alexis Vega, where like 1-on-1, and I thought he was gonna score, bro, and then just like a fucking toe, man.
Cáceres, man, he's from Uruguay. I think he's young. I think he's like 21, 22. That was, I know what you're talking about. That was a very baller play by him.
Yeah. And like that's a tendency that Chivas players have to like. They have a tendency of like doing one too many step overs or one too many moves. It's like, dude, you should have just shot it, bro. Like you had your chance.
Yeah.
So Joel, I gotta ask you the question, man. Was
yes.
was that goal? Was that ball in or out?
I don't know, man. It's hard to tell. I do think they should at least come to bar.
I agree.
But yeah, those angles that I'm getting, it's difficult judging off of that.
All right, let me ask you this question: was the dress white or blue? Or was it gold or
What dress?
no? Like that
What
one.
are we talking about?
It was like that one photo that went viral. It was like the dress was like either gold or it was like blue, and people were like, "No, it's white, it's gold." Like, what are you colorblind? I feel like that's the same thing we're going through right now. It's like the ball's in, and then you have like the people put the perpendicular lines, and they get their protractor out, and they're trying to explain distortion, and like I don't know, bro.
Well, that picture I just shared right now, the part I don't understand is his foot is a part of his foot is behind the line, and the ball is completely behind his foot. So you would think that's a goal, but
Yeah.
there's a picture where they show from the opposite side, and you're like, okay, that's not a goal. But honestly, I don't even want to argue about that because
Yeah.
then we had the one with Gudinho where like it barely didn't touch or did touch. It was the same controversy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what yeah, I mean, we've been on both sides of the coin. I still feel like we as a team we left a lot to ask for.
Yeah. No, like I agree. Like I think it's kind of like pity, kind of like or not pity, kind of petty to like basically judge the whole game off of that one play. Like Chivas should have attacked more. They should have had more chances, and they should have like not dwelled on that decision. Obviously, it could have changed the outcome of the game. Um, but then to go after the game and like complain to the referees about how he blew the whistle too early. Like, dude, you guys had 90 minutes to get the job done, bro. Don't. After that, like stoppage time can be so subjective. Um, it's like you had the entire game to get the job done, you didn't, and now it's like as a last resort, you're trying to argue with the referee. But it's like it's never gonna go your way. I've never seen like a player argue with the referee after he blew the whistle, and the referee's like, you know what, you're right. Let's play on for another 3 minutes. Like that never happens. I don't know why. I don't know why they still try to argue with the ref. Like, dude, nothing's gonna change. If anything, it's gonna mess up your like next game. Like you're gonna like just what happened. Like Ned again, the red card. He's not gonna be eligible for the last game of the season, of the regular season rather, against Cruz Azul. So it's like I don't know, bro.
Heat of the moment.
It's the heat of the moment.
Yeah, started off with the PK against first 5 minutes. Not ideal.
Too much Chiva talk, though. I say America. This was their third clasico win. They beat Cruz Azul. Was it 3-0, and they beat. I mean Pumas. They beat Pumas 3-0, and they humiliated Cruz Azul. Was it what, like 7-0? So and then they beat Chivas. Man, they, you know, good season for them so far. I think right now they should be number one candidates for the league title.
Oh, for sure they are number one. I mean, who else is up there? Monterrey and Pachuca, and that's it. I mean, Santos is doing pretty decent too.
I had to put it on for Ricardo. He's on.
And wait, he can. I think I like summon him like Beetlejuice. I said
I
the
know.
three classic,
Yeah, you go.
the three classic wins, and he appeared.
Ya llegó el huevo derecho de Henry Martin.
You know, I actually wanted Henry Martin when the rumors popped up and people were hating. I said, you know, I like that guy. He hasn't been looking good, but he obviously has.
He has his biceps registered as guns.
He has something, you know. He's shown he can score. I've been wanting him since he was at Tijuana. Um, so yeah, we ended up with Ormeño. But such is life.
I was with Ricardo. Let's let him like talk all smack. Let's let Ricardo talk all trash. I want to hear it.
Let's hear it, Ricardo. Welcome to the show, man.
Pero el Chilla hermano, el aficionado del Guadalajara, no tiene el valor para pedir un cambio. No tiene el valor, porque es una afición alcahueta, apapachadora, mediocre. Sí, ¿tú qué le vas a las Chivas? ¿Tú qué le vas a las Chivas? tienes el valor para pedir un cambio. No,
Ricardo, that guy has been cursing you ever since he
todo lo
switched
que te dan
from
a ti,
Cruz Azul
hermano, chilla,
to
hermano,
America.
Guadalajara, te hincas y abres la boquita.
Good
I'm gonna
evening,
remind that
gentlemen.
guy. I'm gonna remind him that when he jumped ship, Cruz Azul won the league, and America hasn't won it. I would send them back, dude. I would send them back. He's got bad juju, man. I'll be like,
Well, buenas noches to my favorite hermanos yet again.
Welcome, Ricardo, to the show. How we
Thank you for
feeling?
having.
How's the air up there?
It's rather chilly, but I'm so glad you guys invited me back onto the show. And to respond to Fuel, I can't just. Alvaro Morales is like my Andrew Tate, man. When he talks, I have to listen. He's like my moral compass. I go in that direction, you know.
so you would quit America if they were able to go into a dry spell, and you would be like, you know what, f this team.
No,
I'm
I don't know about all that, but oh, come on, we got to stay on topic, man.
he did it on
America's on
air,
top,
dude. Oh yeah, they are.
and I don't know which one of you. I had to hop on because one of you guys mentioned my guy, El Niño Polla Fidalgo. That guy was
Pastor,
all over.
oh no,
That was me.
that was Jaime. He never seen him. He never seen Nino Polla, and then
Mm-hmm.
he
It's very easy to acknowledge that guy because he is an excellent player. And a lot of you Chi hermanos are criticizing America because he was a second division Spain player. It goes to show you. Now, just because it's second division in another country,
no,
quality
never.
can be all over the place, man.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
I'm sure
the
Nacho
guy
Ambriz
is
knows a thing or two about second division in Spain.
Yeah.
Camoranesi is a good example. He came to Mex playing in second division of Argentina,
Yep.
and then he went. He ended up going to Italy. I think he played in Serie B first with Chievo, and then he went to Juventus, and then he ended up being nationalized Italian and winning the World Cup.
Or Pedri, the perfect the man of the moment right now. He was in second division and Barcelona got him, and now he's all over there. He's everywhere.
Damn.
Yeah, no, I've never been like that, like critical of like, oh, because they played in second division. Lajos Iwasaki, goalkeeper for Mex in '86, he was a second division player in
Hmm.
Mexico, and he was starting keeper. Um, dude, even going further, when Mex played Angola at the '06 World Cup,
Uh huh.
the goalkeeper for Angola, they didn't even have a club. The dude was playing Cascaritas, man.
Hmm.
Damn. It's like the new not New Zealand. Is it New Zealand?
He's not.
Iceland.
He's the only white guy, huh? Like
Iceland.
I said.
Like the Iceland and what year did they go to the World Cup? 20
Oh, they were all like semi-pro
They're all like dentists and plumbers back home.
taxistas.
That's crazy. So Ricardo, with you guys won, but with an asterisk because obviously that was a goal that Ochoa saved. It's been proven. It's a goal.
The ball had no, never. A lot the Chi hermanos crying over the weekend has been nonstop. It's been unbelievable. You guys have been over the top. You took it to another level this weekend. It's
Oh
such an
my
appropriate
god.
name for a fan base. Chie, 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 all weekend. Well, let me give you my point of view of the game. If you guys permit the number one fan to give his breakdown of the game.
Let's hear it.
Well, start off is not a goal because by the rules, the entire ball has to cross the line,
Uh-huh.
and there's no clear shot of the ball ever the entire ball going past the line. So that argument is shut down. And no one's bringing, and everyone's stuck on that point, right? But if let's say it was a goal, that was when America was up 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
So so what everyone's telling me is that let's say that goal counts. So everyone's assuming that that second goal that happens because of a
Chicote.
big, yeah, Chicote scored it, but everyone's giving Vega credit, and yeah, he threw the cross, but it was the lame clearance by Cáceres that landed perfectly in Chicote's leg and in his way to score the goal. So it wasn't exactly a perfect cross if the way everyone's.
It was a great assist from your own
Is
player.
it an assist though? It was the Cáceres cleared it, and it just happened to land close by the
No,
in
I
the
mean
box for.
it's an assist for Cáceres. I don't know like who gets the assist on that play like on paper, but that was obviously an America assist right there. And you guys were trying to say it was offside, and I was like, oh, here we go. You know they're gonna get the VAR out, and they're gonna say, oh, it wasn't a goal. But then they obviously saw the header, and yeah, it was your own players.
Well,
Yeah.
that it's definitely a goal, and it's not an offside. And Chicote, when he gets older, he gets to tell his kids, "I scored on America 3 times."
Four.
For Chicota, the king of Chicotazos, give him the trophy, Chicotazo King. But never in that game did I see Chivas have a clear shot, or was I ever worried that
Oh.
that America was going to lose the lead.
Well, I said this earlier before you hopped on, and I was like, for the team to be in first place, to be on a 9 game winning streak, to have all like the just like looking comparing player to player of these squads, I expected more from Medic. I expected a beatdown, bro. I expected at least like a four goal game from America based on what everyone's been hyping this team up for and everything. Like I expected it to be a very clear winner. But for most parts of the game, Chivas was like controlling. They were setting the tone. They were the ones with the most possession. They were the ones doing the more. For some parts of the game, I would say in the beginning. So it's like I don't know. I'm not really impressed, and but that's how clásicos are, man. They're always a little bit tighter than what people expect them to be.
So let me get this straight though, Jaime. You went into this game thinking your team was going to lose.
No, I expected them to win, and I said on the podcast I expected Chivas to win 2-1, and obviously that didn't go our way. But I was like not disappointed with like, oh, because I know like it wasn't a dominating performance by America. Let me just put it that way. It really wasn't.
It wasn't dominant,
No.
but they, like I said, they weren't really in that much trouble either. Aside from that Chicote goal.
Yeah, just like almost every game this season, Chivas led in shots, 17-11, possession 54%, passes and pass accuracy. So like on paper, they outperform America. Obviously, the finishing has been a struggle this entire season and for like the last couple of years. Like Chivas just failed to capitalize on their opportunities. But I mean, like I said, it was a closer game than what most people expected. And
Ricardo, what
It should
happened?
have been 3-1 though. That play that hit the crossbar, Viñas got in the way and didn't allow Valdez to continue. So
oh
it should have been 3-1.
yeah, well, I mean, it could have been 2
You can
2.
also argue that you can make a bunch of arguments, but speaking of arguments, Ricardo, so America, 9 wins in a row. What was it now? 10. Definitely dominant in the league. What happens if you guys lose in the first round of Liguilla? Are you gonna ask for Liguilla to go away, to go back to a long format season? What happens there?
Oh no, no, we're winning it this year. You're describing the tactics your team uses, like El Llorón de Peláez when he went to go cry to the artery. Did you guys see that photo where He's waiting outside the ref's room.
No.
He has un chillón.
No, no, no Chillano, but you guys got rid of Solari because he was winning the tournament, the season, but not La Liguilla. So Tano, same thing. He puts you into Liguillas. He doesn't like deliver the championship. Do you stick with Tano?
Depends, man. But I'm not having negative thoughts affect my mojo or my groove right now, man. Like America's going all the way to the top, and
Let
Chivas
him have his moment.
and Chivas is gonna be right there, looking on the step below, looking up as we take that 14th title.
I don't know, man. If Chicote starts, there might be something else to be said about that.
Chicote,
Yeah, man.
the
Chicote ya le
Mexican
trae las
Sergino Dest.
nalguitas como Guardado with Ochoa. Guardado would always score against Ochoa. I don't know why Cadena didn't start Chicote, man. Chicote could have had 2, 3 goals that game.
All right, man. I'm gonna say that guy's a bum.
Chicote or Cadena or both.
Both of them, but especially Chicote.
Eres un estúpido.
Guy's a
You don't like
bum.
the Mickey Mouse tattoo?
That guy, all he's good for is drinking that vodka. And was it? Wait, didn't wasn't isn't this the same guy that painted his room the Atlas colors, and now he's a Chiva, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's the same guy.
Yeah.
Damn, you know a lot about Chicote, man. I didn't even know that.
He knows a lot about Chivas. He knows more
Yeah.
about Chivas
Hey,
than we know about America.
hey, I've never denied I'm the number one hater.
You're like Nardwar, bro. You know things that
Mm-hmm.
even we forgot. Like, how do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens this season. You know, America in the past complained about the away goal rule when they got eliminated by Pachuca, and they were in a similar situation as far as being like top of the league. So, I mean, for a team to be pretty far from the pack, I mean, Rayados is right there with 34 points in second place, Pachuca with 31, Santos with 30. Um, it's safe to assume that America will probably clinch first or second place. I don't know what your last game of the season looks like, but you know you're gonna have everything in your favor, home field advantage, and I'm just looking forward to the fall.
Like a deck of cards, right?
What do you mean?
I mean, like what are those called? Those those little things that they build with the
Dominoes?
card. But yeah, I guess dominoes. Yeah, but no, but you guys. That's why I'm the number one fan. You guys bring up some great points, but I enjoy listening to other people's opinions all the time, and I can't help but to mention what Hector Huerta said on Picante. América is el animal de liguillas, man, and we have something nothing no other team has right now. Is la sangre ganadora, man. No other team has that.
You mean as far as like in terms of history or in recent success? Because like, what's the last time you guys won? It's been a while.
I do think
2018.
I do think historically they do have the best record in Liguillas. America's numbers across the board are really good.
I can't judge. I can only judge them on the number of liguillas the finals they make. They lose and they win, man. I can't be like Chivas stuck in the past, worried about those Stone
Or
Age titles, man.
yeah, we can't be like Chivas calling Pro de 85 a legitimate title.
Yeah, and you guys competed in it and you didn't win it, right?
We ain't gonna claim that as a title though.
Yeah, because you didn't win it.
I don't think we
We
would, man.
we both have 12.
Nah. Well, technically, America has 17, but that's a conversation for another day.
Oh,
He's
interesting.
you're adding
It's
the
like
amateur era.
Well, see, you say amateur, but if players are getting paid in that area, in that
Or,
era, can that the amateur label goes away, doesn't it?
true, but it wasn't a league. It wasn't like a unified league. So it was just like a DF league. You're
And
only
Chivas
playing
joined
teams.
after, right?
No, they kind of combined the leagues,
No, no.
like DF and Occidente, and then
It's like
they made like kind of like NBA when they had
the
what was that
ABA,
ABA,
other?
NBA, right?
Yeah, yeah, and
NFL,
then they made
AFL.
so it was sort of similar where you had Occidente and you had DF Capital and they made the Super League. Um,
You're right, Joel. But in this case, America is the NBA and Chivas is the ABA. You guys joined the NBA, so
no,
even though
when she yeah, but when she was won all those chips, it was in that because they had also championships in their Occidente League, but
But it's like
I,
when
I
it's
don't
like
know,
when
man.
Pele was like counting his goals from like amateur.
Amis- Amistosos,
He was like
nope,
his backyard.
in his
you can't call it
backyard,
amateur if you're getting paid though.
bro. Pele had a little pickup game in his backyard and said, "Those count. Those goals count."
Pro Day actually counts now, but eh, FIFA didn't make it official until
Until they
11
got paid.
years
Until
later.
they got bullied.
It, it took 11 years, but it, it's it wasn't originally it wasn't a league title, and I'll tell you how you know this because they didn't give the trophy, the regular trophy, they didn't award that. They gave a different trophy that Pronosticos Deportivos. So that's the name of the. It was like a caliente, like how they have caliente betting. So it was Pronostico Deportivos Pro, and they're the ones that were promoting the tournament, which was a mini tournament. Um,
That Chivas
and so
competed in, right?
everyone competed in, but
Hmm.
when that tournament was designed, it wasn't as teams teams weren't playing in it thinking that it was going to be the league title. They were just it was just a tournament. So a lot of teams weren't taking it serious. Um,
That's very convenient to say after all these years, Joel.
no, it's documented. You could even pull up newspaper from that time with the FMF president at the time
Hmm.
saying that it wasn't going to be a league title, which is why they didn't give the trophy, and that's why they weren't going to have relegation for that season, which they didn't. So it wasn't it wasn't league.
Joel,
Telling you
but
to,
doesn't Monterrey have one just like that? But no one makes a big deal about that one.
I think it's Cruz with the 70. I think the 70 is
Yeah, Monterrey has a 70, right?
wasn't that Cruz?
Do they
That's
really?
Monterrey.
Same situation, but
Wait,
as
they won
usual,
Mexico '86 because they
I'm looking at the honors
yeah
right now. Hold on. Mm.
could be Monterrey. No, I mean you're going way back. I don't know what was said back then, but I mean that's why it's called Prode. Is when you're looking at the campeonatos, it says Prode. It doesn't. Why would it have that asterisk sticking out? You know?
In the 1970 tournament, 1970s, the tournament was split into two short tournaments due to the 1970 World Cup that
mhm,
was taken in Mexico for the first time. The club was placed in Group 1, where they managed to finish second with 17 points, one less than group leader Toluca. In the second part of the tournament, the club finished seventh. The following year, Monterrey finished runner up to Club America, who went to win the league against Toluca. Yeah, so it sounds like America is the one that benefited from that, not Monterrey. Monterrey didn't win their first title until 1986.
Yeah, that was the follow up of Prode '85 was Mexico '86, but I don't know much of like that one. I think that one was already like agreed upon to be like the league now, like the league commencing, like trying to catapult off of the country hosting the World Cup.
Well, we could only go off what the maximum authority says, and if FIFA says it's a title, I'm gonna say it's a title.
Wait,
Yeah, I mean,
I have a question. I'm looking at the Pro 85 bracket. Why was there 3 games?
because it was never a league; it was just a tournament. It
What
was like a
the
little
heck?
tournament. So you didn't play every team in the league. They just played like 8 games, and then they had like a mini liguilla. So they didn't even play. I don't think even half the teams in the league.
No, I mean, I'm looking at the playoffs, right? And each team played each other 3 times. That's hella weird. So America lost the first game against Tampico Madero 4-1. Then they won the second game 4-0, but then there was a third game that ended in 5-4. So weird. I've never seen that before. Man,
They would do
there's
it
asterisks
before
all over this
because
title, bro. I don't know how y'all claiming this as a legitimate title, bro. This looks like a joke.
FIFA claims it, Jaime. Take it up with them, man.
It's like
it
I'm watching Cobra Kai right now, and like the antagonist is like doing everything in their favor to like win tournaments and pay off refs, and like this is just the same situation, bro. You guys are the Cobra Kai of Liga MX, just like pure
well,
evil.
well to me,
Wow.
I don't see it as league because to me, it's if you play every team in the league if you win the league, right? That's just pretty simple, basic across the board. Any league in the world does that. You get to play each team in the league. That didn't happen in these mini tournaments. Um, the teams kind of agreed, but for that one, the guy is you could see his interview, like his newspaper interview, saying that this is not a league tournament.
So you guys went as far as to diminish an America title just to excuse the fact that Chivas has been in the shitter forever, man.
No, you know what? Because I said it before. Even if you take that away from America, like like the majority of the record, top to bottom, they're still the better team. They still have like the most wins, the most, you know,
I think the big difference,
they've done the most points. They've done.
I think where they can really like basically do their little um is international tournaments and trophies.
Oh yeah, America brought the international fame to Liga MX when they introduced the what's that tournament called, the Interamericana,
Yeah, that was
when they
between.
beat Boca that first time.
Yeah, if you see
So
it,
America
it
split
looks
Liga.
sketch. They play like 3 games. Again, they had a lot. Like if you see the first two and you see the. I mean, if you could pull it out, whip it out,
What
you'll
what
see.
what was it?
Interamericana, the Interamericana. That used to be. It used to be like the Club World Cup. You know how like the South
No, isn't
American
isn't that
champion
the
used to.
Intercontinental? I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah, because there was two. I think it was Intercontinental. I think that
Yeah,
was
you're
between
you're
South
thinking about the
America and
Intercon.
Europe.
Yeah.
That was the old one, and then but there was one for a short. It was played a few times. I think Pumas won one as well.
Yeah, they played 3 times. Boca won 3-0 in La Bombonera. Then they
Yeah.
played the second leg in El Azteca 1-0 for America. And then
See who right there, right there, the game. That's it. You know who the one.
they played again 2 days later. It was basically until America won. So they played a third time and America won that one 2-1.
Does Chivas have that trophy?
We don't have much
They
of an
discontinued.
international
They
trophy.
got discontinued, man.
We have like one
It's like
Coca
it doesn't
Champions League
exist anymore.
in
You
1961.
Two.
you guys
We
are
had
really
No,
two.
disappointing
we
me.
just won another one like recently, but yeah, up until then we just had one.
But Chivas had two actually. They
Oh yeah,
CONCACAF stole one from them.
yeah.
They had
So
already won it.
yeah.
They won it. Like they got to the final, and then it was some team from Haiti, and they couldn't even make the match, and it got rescheduled a few times, and they were never able to get to the game, and so then Chivas left you know, on a gira to Europe, and all of a sudden, Haiti could play the game, and they were saying, "All right, well, you have to play." Chivas forfeit because they weren't even in Mexico; they were in Spain, and so then Concacaf just gave that team the trophy. It's pretty stupid. They didn't even.
Oh yeah. Um, I do want to get to a voicemail that was left by one of our fans. Let's see if it works.
Caballeros. My name's Cristiano. I live in the Twin Cities. I am just wondering, I know we're about a little less than 4 years out, but I'm wondering if you guys could give me a brief overview for 2026 for the World Cup. I would like to go. I'm a El Tri fan, but I would like to go down, and I just wanted to know if you could kind of compare the three host cities, Guadalajara, Monterrey, and Mexico City, and just kind of lay out what you think the fan experience would be, and maybe the pros and cons of what spending a couple weeks. It sounds like it'll be in the summer, like it should be, but just wondering if you could lay it out for me. Gracias.
Shout out to our fan Christian. He left that voicemail on our landing page on anchor.fm. So yeah, you guys can leave us voicemails if you guys are listening. Didn't know that.
Where was that guy from?
I think he said Minnesota. He sounded Canadian.
Man, there's Mexicans everywhere, man.
Yeah, there is, man. They just crossed the border and said, "We'll just keep going." You know,
It's crazy.
we'll just keep going up. Yeah. Thanks for the voicemail, Christian. I can only speak for Guadalajara because I haven't been to La Azteca, I haven't been to Monterrey, but I mean, I honestly think that's where it's at right there. Guadalajara is a great city, a lot of nightlife there, and arguably one of the best, most modern stadiums in the country. Obviously, Monterrey has a really nice one too. Um, but yeah, Guadalajara would be a great place to start. I really don't know. Like we're so far away from the World Cup in 2026, so until they release a schedule and what games are going to be going where, I mean, if his plan is to hit all three, I think it's going to be a tough shot. But if I could pick one out of the three stadiums to go to, like probably Azteca, probably Mexico City, because it's an entire world out
Wait,
there.
wait, didn't Mexico City just had an earthquake?
Oh, that's true. No,
I would wait. I saw some of these buildings, man. They're like.
I don't know. I think it was actually closer to Jalisco, because it was on the.
They said it was in Michoacan.
It was like Colima, no?
Yeah, it was in Michoacan.
Oh yeah,
All
Yeah.
right, all right. You're safe.
yeah. Which
Well, the World Cup's not gonna be in September 19th, so he's okay.
yeah, but I don't know. Have you guys been to Azteca or the Monterrey
I've
Stadium?
been to a, I've been to Azteca, but I'll say anywhere the fan experience is gonna be good, just because Mex is a football country, and the Mex fans are like they're not like hooligan types. You could be from the other team and they'll party with you. Um, so for the most part,
Except on
you just
Querétaro.
you'll be you have to be extremely unlucky to end up with maybe the America fan base, but I think yeah, I would wait to see what matches are being played where, and then what games you want to see, and the travel within Mex is not that far. either bus or airplane. It that's, some of these cities they're not that far from each other.
Well, I mean, from Nuevo Leon to Guadalajara, it's quite a drive.
Oh yeah, but like flights, like
Yeah, but you can get a flight. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say is to our listener, base it off the games, what games you want to see, depending what city they're playing. Each city has something different to offer. I know Azteca's completely getting remodeled, but at the end of the day, it's historic. Pele, Maradona, they have lived the World Cups up there. Mexico City's known for its street food. It's phenomenal. But same thing. Guadalajara, you could do like the tequila tours, everything. So I would go off first what games you want to see, then base of the city off that, and then second what cultural stuff you want to explore. You want to visit like the tequilerias. You want to visit like the different things that Mexico City has to offer as far as like art and things of that nature.
to the
Monterrey, you want
pyramids.
to visit
Yeah,
the
pyramids.
compadres bigotones besándose. Like there's a lot of things. I put Monterrey third on the list. At
Go to
least
an America
when you're
game, you'll
there,
see plenty of that going on.
Oh
at
man.
least when you're in Guadalajara or Mexico City, you're not gonna run out of water. So I definitely put
But you,
Guadalajara or Mexico
but
City
you,
top
if
three.
you do want to see a historic site, the biggest toilet bowl is located in Guadalajara.
That is
If
facts.
if he wants to go see that,
Um,
You need aerial view. You need
yeah,
aerial view
yeah.
to
yeah,
see
you're right.
everything like that.
Hey, that is the best toilet seat made for God. That is made for Zeus or whoever's up there.
But
Um,
I wanted to add something, Jaime.
go ahead.
I haven't really kept up with like the World Cup stuff, but has there been has it been affirmed that Mexico's group stage is going to be specifically held in Mexico?
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't know.
Yeah, that's you should take that into account, right?
And like it's crazy that that's even like we even have to ask that question, right?
Yeah,
Because no other country would want to host any game outside of their own country, right? But the dollar is strong. We'll see if it is in 4 years from now, but I mean, I would not be surprised if they had a game in like LA or something.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, wouldn't FIFA or the World Cup want to put that Mexico game against Argentina in LA somewhere where they can cash out the money, right?
Oh, damn, that'd be fucking crazy. Yeah. No, that game has to be in El Azteca. Like, I
Yeah,
think,
that's where I hope it'd be, but
yeah,
you never know with these guys.
yeah. Um, what I'm gonna say to Christian and like, look, man, you don't have to wait 4 years to figure this out. Go to Mexico. Like, I just went over the summer. If you want to catch a game in Guadalajara, it's quite easy. There's an app called Boleto Móvil, and you can just literally it's like the StubHub or like the Ticketmaster of Chivas games. You can go in there. Usually it's like the week of the game is when the ticket's released. You can buy your ticket. It's pretty easy to get to the stadium. It's I just do Uber because it's so cheap. And yeah, you can catch a game pretty easily. Getting out of that stadium is kind of a pain in the ass. The taxis there have an agreement with the stadium, so you can't catch any ride shares within like I don't know, within a mile of the stadium. So you have to kind of overpay for a taxi to get out, or you can walk to the Oxo and get a ride from there. But overall, like it's pretty safe. Guadalajara is a great town. They have a lot that you can do. They have a lot of art. They have a lot of music. If you want to go to Tequila, to the city of Tequila, and get a tasting, like you can do that through your hotel. They usually have all these adventures for you to do. Puerto Vallarta is not that far from there. It's like a 30-minute flight. So yeah, you can have a really good time in Guadalajara. I have yet to venture out to Ciudad de Mexico, but I mean, my advice to you, man, like 4 years. You have plenty of time to visit the cities and see for yourself which one you like the most and which one speaks to you because everybody's different. Some people like to party and they're gonna like those party cities. Some people like to do more of the history or like the art kind of stuff. They like to do like more of a chill type of traveling. So I think every city has something to offer. um but yeah, definitely, like if I had to pick between the two, it'd be like Mexico City or Guadalajara. I really can't speak for Nuevo Leon because it's up north. I've never been over there, but we appreciate your voicemail. How do we feel about these partidos moleros? We have one on Saturday. Joel should be in attendance over there at the Rose Bowl against Peru, and then I'll be at the Levi's in Santa Clara for the game against Colombia. Um, but yeah, it's like it's like the dress rehearsal before the World Cup. So, like, how you guys feeling about these matches?
What's the point?
To be honest, I could care less. I'm at a point where I'm club over country, and I'm just waiting for the World Cup. I mean, we could go Mexico to dominate the friendlies or whatever. It doesn't matter. All that matters is what they do in the World Cup.
Yeah, Al Pastor, I thought you were gonna be more invested, man. Because isn't Mexico playing Peru? You don't know which team to root for, man.
No, no, you're right. Yeah, no, of course, Mexico, man. That Peruano, I'm still mad about that Peruano
Mm-hmm.
joining the team. If it was up to me, he would have never joined. And not because he's Peruano, it's because he has he had one goal in 12 months. Like literally, that's who you bring as a refuerzo.
And a Messi goal at that. I can,
Hey, I'm gonna say this now. I'm gonna put this out in the universe. He's gonna end up scoring a very important goal for Chivas. Might be like might be the goal that gives us the title or something. Like he'll end up
The one that saves us from relegation once it's
nah,
back.
it won't get that dark, but I think like it'll be like a game winning goal in in the Liga or Repechaje.
Oh man, the way he runs, he reminds me of Harry Maguire. He's just, I don't know, he's just
he reminds me of Groot. It's tronco.
tronquísimo.
Hopefully he can use that to his advantage. You know, just shoot the ball at his face like a Chicharito goal or something. I don't know. Just have it ricochet off his body.
But that's like sorry about that, Jaime. I just wanted to mention something like in the last show when Joel he said something that that's kind of looking to be true, man, about how you guys are being sold like injured good players or players that were good in other teams in different times, and you guys are expecting those players to perform the same way. Like Ormeño, you guys bought him when he was good at Puebla, but Larcamon has that system set up so he can make certain guys look real good, and he's an example of that.
Well, you could see what the strategy was when they subbed him in. You know, they were just gonna feed him crosses
Yeah,
and use his height advantage, but it just didn't work out. Um,
Ni sabe brincar del way.
yeah, you guys sold us a freaking over the hill Peralta, so it
but if you guys save your pennies up, we'll give you Henry next year, man. La bomba. I was talking crap about him before the season started, but man, he's shutting me up.
like you
Yeah,
mentioned, they
if he goes to the World Cup, I don't think they're selling him. They'll hold on then for like 2 more years, and
they'll
they'll
wait
let
until
him go.
he's like past the hill, and then they'll somehow sell him to
No,
Chivas.
the whole the Peralta thing, that was like some dealing with Higuera where he really stuck it to the club because he's the one that negotiated it, and like they knew that the player was injured, which is why he came in as a free transfer with Chivas paying like a percentage of his wages, and then America paying the other half. And it was so clear that he was damaged goods when Santos didn't even want to touch him with a 10-foot pole
Yeah,
because Chivas offered like he could take him for free, you know, and he could retire at Santos where he began, and they were like, "Nah, we're good."
didn't he
No
begin in
thanks.
Monterrey
And
though?
what?
Peralta started at Monterrey.
All
Didn't
right,
he?
but Santos was where he
Oh yeah, I mean
he kind of like
that's where he became like. Actually, no, he started in Morelia, Morelia, León,
Yeah, I was
Monterrey.
gonna say Morelia. Yeah,
Yeah.
all right, but Santos is where he was
Oh yeah, he's a fucking legend over
he
there.
yeah, that's where he exploded. So correction noted, Jaime. Uh, and yeah, he's one of their icons or idols, whatever, and they didn't even want him. and that was sad to see because I really valued him as a player, just having won the Olympics and a lot of stuff that he managed to do. So it was pretty sad to see him like go out that way through the back door, like just like
Where is he
wasn't really
now?
valued.
Is he just done? He
Probably
retired?
Yeah, he's retired.
sells car insurance or something.
I'm surprised like he's not playing in like Division 2 or Central America or something, you know.
He was too,
Well, I mean, Chivas
you
is
know,
paying him more, like $1 million a month. I mean, financially, I mean, I think it's pretty set.
yeah, and that was a whole Higuera thing where he kind of stuck it to the club on his way out. He sort of like farted and left, closed the door,
I,
and that
I
was
Yeah,
you.
seen
You
him.
gotta imagine he must have taken his chunk of that.
I seen him upload some pictures. He was like in different facilities. He was at the Santos one and at the America one. So maybe he's trying to coach.
His motivational speaker.
Hmm. He can be the next Michel Leaño. What's that guy's name? Leaño.
Leaño never played professionally though.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Hijo de papi.
Looks like America pulled the old switcheroo on you guys then, huh?
Yeah, well, with your undercover agent, because Higuera was Americanista, or probably
Hmm.
still is.
And and Peláez too, man. That guy loves America.
yeah,
Yes,
he
but
is
he got
Americanista.
to wear the Chivas jersey. He kind of like had a cleansing because he got to put the jersey. He 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 was lo bautizaron and he washed away his sins. So
Mm.
he he played with Chivas before he retired. So that's like a saving grace for me.
And you guys got a lot of guys on the back end of their career. Luis Garcia,
Yep. And
Peláez,
Peláez,
Morcillo.
André
yeah,
Borghetti.
my
yeah,
favorite guy,
Morcillo,
Morcillo. After he won two
Borghetti
titles
too,
off
man.
you guys.
We had Lucho Perez.
Israel
Damn,
Castro. La
But
Afición.
doesn't this just go
like
back
a
to the fact
retirement
that
team.
yeah? Doesn't this just go back to the fact that you guys
Angel
don't know
Reina.
how to? You guys are broke,
We
Well,
never
it's
denied that.
the
and those.
club. Yeah, the club hasn't had money in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like probably going all the way back to the '70s. Um, they just it was straight out socios. It was the only two like real clubs left in Mexico was Chivas and Atlas, where you had actual socios and they put money to fund the club, and they each owned stock in the team. And those socios with Chivas are the ones that ended up. I don't know what they were doing. I've been trying to get in contact with like someone that knows socios from back then because they're the ones that they kind of rented the team out to the promotora. But I feel these guys were kind of involved in that. And then promotora had the team for 9 years. And so, you have 9 years to clear your finances. But then it was supposed to be 10, right? So Vergara comes and he takes over the team. So it's like they had 9 years to clear their finances. But then well, they had 10 years, and at the ninth year, everyone just sold their stock. So you have to wonder what was going on there. What was happening that
We know what was going on, dude. They pulled a Dumb and Dumber and started spending the money like crazy.
they had the release full of IOUs.
That's why I said that one time. It was Chiva on Chiva crime. You guys sold yourself out. The socios, they sold their team out, man.
Yeah, the
Those are the
majority did.
those are the real sinners. Well, not America.
Yeah, but I mean, and then so since then the team hasn't really been. They never had that much money compared
What?
to
Oh,
like
you
the
you
other
say
teams that came in.
you when you say that they rented it out the team, like yeah, that's documented. But was that approved by FIFA? Like where else was that ever seen? A team being rented out like that?
I don't think FIFA can do anything about club level. FIFA is mostly for
Oh, okay.
for national team. I know they did the whole with the league, and I think that's more for like documentation purposes, like for the records, and that made it more valid when talking about like pro day. But I don't think they can step in and and regulate because they 2 years back, I forgot who the president was, and they were trying to tell them about multipropiedades, and then people nothing. They never really did nothing about it, anything about it, I should say.
Hmm.
So yeah, I do think they have like certain stuff that it's like you have to do if you're like affiliated. Because I do remember MLS wanted to do they wanted a bigger porteria. They wanted the goal thing to be bigger. They wanted a couple things, man. There was a list up there. Some of it's kind of funny. And then FIFA just denied the majority except for the shootout.
Um, Mexico's gonna have a Revelations Cup, I guess. Under 20.
Another one.
This time it's the men though.
Wait, when?
That's what I'm trying to figure out because it says September 24th, but I don't know if that's. But they are.
September 24th.
Yeah, it's the same
That's this
same.
Saturday.
That's the same game as or same time or same date as the senior.
What talking about? What are you talking about? Jaime? Beach soccer with
Under 20.
dude, Jaime.
It, do you guys know if those friendlies are gonna happen before the Partido Moleros, the selección games?
I don't know, but it's USA Mexico and I'm looking at this list, bro. I don't really recognize any of these kids. Either way, plenty of football action, I guess, on the international side. As far as Liga MX action, there will be some makeup games on Friday. Puebla versus Pumas and Necaxa versus Mazatlan. And then after that, we won't have Liga MX action until the last week of September, first week of October. So, yeah, Liga MX will be put on pause for now. We're going to have to watch these international friendlies. And I definitely concur with what you guys have said about not really looking forward to them and sort of being meaningless. My biggest concern is just like making sure everybody stays healthy because players get injured. We already lost Decatito. Just don't want to see any more injuries. I think Raul Jimenez picked up another knock, so it's like,
Wait, isn't he out?
yeah, I think Wolves ruled him out. So
Maybe should take a sabbatical. Should take like 9 months off.
Raul is at that point where he'll probably return to America. Or maybe Tigres, right? Tigres or Monterrey will probably try and poach him.
Tigres, Monterrey. Right? Galaxy.
Hey, take it easy there, Joel. But this is another example of FMF whoring out their own product time and time again, man. The selección, the what's really the point of these games? And like I mentioned, those part of that Molero Clásico against Chivas and America. Like, don't these guys have enough money already?
No.
Not Chivas. No.
All
Yeah,
right.
well, yeah. Forget I said that. Obviously, Chivas
Chivas,
needs it.
Chivas still hurting over the whole COVID thing. That really put a dent in their pockets.
That's right. They're doing another Clasico, right? In
Yeah,
Atlanta?
that's what I was mentioning earlier about those. Were those games before the selección games?
Is it on a Saturday?
I don't really know, but it shouldn't be happening.
I seen games where they have them and they'll put the game on the big
Sunday.
screen.
Sunday, September 25th at Bobby Dodd Stadium in Atlanta, 4:30.
The day after.
Those dreaded Pocho Bucks are ruining the game, man.
No, the money helps the Federación. They fund a lot of things with that.
They say that, but we can't be for sure that they do.
I wonder
What do
if
you
they
mean you
could.
can't? Wait, if you look at it, it's a lot of money they're getting because the amount of games they play, uh, and then you have to add how much they get per game, and then they get on top of that TV money, and then added to that all the sponsors that are American sponsors, Home Depot. There's a long list of American sponsors that they wouldn't be sponsoring Mex if they weren't playing over here. So it's dude, it's a cash cow. They get a lot of money. That's why you kind of we saw an improvement with the youth teams as Mexico played more and more games in the U.S. because now there was more money to like to put into those programs. Because before they never really took it as serious. And so I mean you have
Oh,
now you have two under 17s in an Olympic gold medal.
Hold, let me just question you on that. Is that
Yeah,
thing working, or it
yeah.
just so happened to
No, it's
work out that way?
no,
Because
they
it's
have.
similar to like when people, I have to go back to it, but when people say, "Oh, MLS is exporting a lot of players," right? Like, and they bring up Pulisic, right? But that guy's dad took him. It was his own effort to go to
Yeah,
Europe. It
but see
wasn't
that's
necessarily MLS.
I, I keep telling you guys you can't compare the same like MLS and like Liga MX where it's like FMF is pretty much tied at the hip with Liga MX because the Liga MX club owners make up the FMF. In the
Yeah.
US, it's different. The owners of the MLS teams, they're not in USSF. So completely separate entity. So we can't we can't use that comparison where people say they like to say that oh they're helping the national team. That's why they send the players. And that's not really true. Players leave because for the most part they don't have these huge contracts like they get in Mexico.
Yeah, but
Oh,
end of the day, the rich get richer. I mean, yeah, the moleros, do they bring in money? But we're saying the majority of the money is being reinvested. No, they probably reinvest a portion of it, and the rest is going into their pocket. And
But
another
it's way
thing, you
more
could
than
make the
who they would have
argument
had.
that it hinders them because if they really cared about the youth teams, Olympic gold medals and all that, they would put the league product as one main package, sell all the TV rights, and say, hey, all you league teams, we're going to take a portion of this, hook up with La Federación, and reinvest to our youth teams. Have you guys invest in your youth teams because we want to
Well,
export players. It has to be a
but
combined
see,
effort
but that's
of
why you
league
can't.
and Federación. It's not like we're
I
going to
know.
have these Molero games in the U.S., make all this money, and then you guys do whatever you want. We'll put a little bit of money into the youth teams, and that's it. I mean, we can't completely believe that, thank God to these Moleto games that we have results at the youth level. At the end of the day, they're pocketing the majority of that money.
oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, but it still is more money for the Federación than they would have had.
Yeah, we
Hope.
So
understand.
it's
Can I add something? I wanted to say, isn't it a little, doesn't really match up the fact that, yeah, they're getting youth results, but at the league level, it's full extranjeros, man. Is it? That's where I say
but see
maybe it's
we're
just a
but
coincidence.
no, but see now you're mixing things. So one is selección and the other is liga. So the is a selección that plays a majority of modelos here. I mean the league teams do as they just come here to do like preseason and friendlies. But I mean I don't think one has to do with the other.
No, it's an opportunity, during the international break to just where the teams would normally just train. like, hey, there's an opportunity to go please the fans in all these cities and get some money.
Well, they get a lot of money because,
Yeah.
and you see the economic situation in Mexico, like the average ticket, like the cheapest tickets are like would have to be about like $5,
Hmm.
and here in the U.S. the cheapest tickets are like 50 now.
I always wondered how much like these, like, for example, Prime, is it Primetime Sports? They're the ones that handle the America tours here in the United States. Um, I wonder how much like they offer America to come over here. It must be a lot,
It could be sometimes up to like a million again,
or
Yeah,
maybe
that's
depending
that's what I heard on
the venue,
Picante,
the
a million.
rival.
or maybe
Yeah.
they'll split the hey the concessions or profits from the tickets or something. I don't know. I'm sure there's something, but I'm very curious. Really quickly, we do have a new speaker. He requested to speak. Jose Antonio, thanks for hopping on and welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Hello, guys.
Greetings.
Welcome,
So
Jose.
yeah, I've been hearing conversations for hours, and you guys are great at this. Me personally, I'm a Chivas fan, so I was pretty disappointed at the results that happened from Saturday. Losing to America, and I know we haven't had the best amount of years since we last won the championship, and it was really tough because if you look back at it, Chivas, we haven't won a league game against America ever since 2017 when we won the championship, and obviously it took us three whole games to score a goal after those games that Chicote did his chicotazos. Obviously, we lost 3-0 one game. We tied 0-0 twice. So I know the referee is always going to be a main factor in the game, no matter what. Whether Ochoa's the goal that went inside counted or not, it would have been whether it would have counted or not, it would have been controversial regardless. But yeah, and then you guys are going back to La Selección, and I'll admit, La Selección, they just don't have it this year for the World Cup. To be honest with you, I think it's just that's just the scapegoat for everything, and he doesn't even get the right players most of the time. And yeah, you guys are talking about the Moleros in like the U.S. And yeah, you guys actually give pretty good points on like where where the where the federation and the league takes all that money from. Because I could see it as a marketing strategy pretty well for all of us who live in the U.S. and go to all the games. For example, I'm not even gonna lie. As a Chivas fan, you look at Estadio Akron, and it's pretty empty most of the time, unless like they're really good and it's like Liguilla. But then you go to Molero anywhere like in California or in Texas, Chicago, and it's filled with Chiva hermanos everywhere. So I could see the why they would do all this stuff, at least for like the Liga MX friendlies. But for La Selección, you guys do got a point, because like all these moleros, sometimes you start to question if they're really worthy or not. But yeah, thanks.
Great points, Jose.
Good stuff, man.
I wanted to add something too. I mean, Jose brought up some great points, but the I wanted to say those moleros. I keep going back to it, man. Oh, never mind. I lost my train of thought, man. I'm over here walking.
It's all good.
I'm walking.
Praise God. No, I see it because I think the media is I blame the mixed media because they're amarillista, where it's like they want to create more scandal and it's create more controversy, and that I think they shape the way we as fans see the game, and mixed fans have a very kind of negative, you know, very negative view, and even as far as like the logros, the achievements the team has, even then those get downplayed, where it's like it's they feel that the team should be doing better than they currently are. So because we see Moleros and it's like, well, what's the point? And that's because it's being compared to like, well, they should be playing the top tier uh, clubs. They should be playing Brazil, Holland, and all these. But see, a lot of these games aren't always readily available,
Yeah, it's
right? So
almost
you
impossible to
can't
play a top team now.
you're not
Yeah.
always you're not always gonna have that opportunity. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The other thing is like you could take advantage of these games and play youth or play players that you normally wouldn't take if you were to play a better team. And the
But you can
club
make the
the
argument at that point, are you devaluing the value of the Mexico jersey? Whereas of calling like a pool of 20 or 30, now you're calling a pool of 40, 50, 60 players. What does it mean to wear the jersey at that point?
well I don't think I think for like friendlies, moleros, not really, and they've been doing it for a long time, and we've mentioned here uh, in a World Cup cycle, there will be about 80 players that get called up. That's a lot of players that will get called up, and out of those 80, there's about 30 that are like they get the most playing time, and then 23 would go to the World Cup from that. Um, but yeah, it's 80. That's a lot, and a big part of it is because of all these moleros. But I think when Mexico has gone to tournaments, like when they used to go to Copa America, they would represent well. I mean, at least until CONCACAF started hindering them and saying, "Oh, you could only take the youth," or they started kind of like messing with Mexico, so they until they finally left the tournament. Um, but you would see that the team's results at that tournament are pretty good, and even like overall when there was confederaciones, the team's results there were good as well. Like overall,
Yeah.
Two Copa America finals, right?
yes, sir. 2001 and 1993.
The year they were invited.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 93 against Argentina, and that Argentina team had the Batistuta, and that's a team that had just
And we had Hugo.
80, 86 they had won the World Cup, in 90 they were finalists, and so that was like a very tough Argentina team.
Wait,
Who
And
was the goalkeeper for that shootout?
90 was they weren't finalists in 90, were they? Or was it 94? I
no,
forget.
Argentina.
Oh wait, yeah,
Yeah, they
sorry.
played Germany.
I mixed it up.
Sergio Goicochea, Sangoico. He had won a couple of shootouts for them, except
No,
for the
but
last one.
for
No, they
Mexico when they
didn't do a shootout. They lost. Oh, you're confusing me. I think it's Campos. Should have
uh
been Campos, the goalie in '93.
well now you guys know why
But
we
what
lost
shootout?
that one.
Wait, what shootout? They lost like 1-2.
Wasn't it a
What was it?
penalty
two
shootout
one
against
or two?
Argentina?
No, no. Argentina beat them. I still have nightmares of
Oh,
Batistuta running over
okay.
Ramon Ramirez. He was like a Mack truck. He just ran right through him. They put Ramirez. I think he was like defending. I don't know why he was all the way back there, and Bati just steamrolled him, dude.
Manhandled them.
Jorge Campos is the goalkeeper. And we had Sage, Hugo Sanchez, Benjamin Galindo, Aspe, Nacho
El
Ambriz,
maestro.
David Patiño, Ramon Ramirez, Juan Ramirez Perales, Claudio Suarez, and Raúl Gutierrez.
That's a good team.
Yeah, it was a good team. That team, when they go to the '94 World Cup, they were in a group of death, and since that since that World Cup, Mexico hasn't been in a group with three European teams. So
Hmm.
Norway, Ireland, and Italy. And Italy were the ended up finalists in '94, and so for them to advance from that was massive because up until that World Cup, outside of Mexico had been very irregular. So that one was where it kind of started it, at least getting out of the group stage.
Hmm.
And then they
Wow.
started doing moleros and they got soft.
No.
No, I mean, honestly, that's
How
what it
many
is. I mean,
years
the
has there
Mexican
been?
media is very toxic, it's very clickbait. But the Mexican fans in Mexico, they have the reason to be mad. They cannot watch their national team play friendlies because they're all in a foreign country, and the games they get is like against Costa Rica, Honduras, whatever, like all the way
Suriname.
qualifying. They
He's
get like
right. You're
one good
right.
game, which is against the U.S. They get two of the no, they get one what like every 4 years, and they're not gonna get it this time because there's not gonna be no World Cup qualifying. They have a very good reason to be mad. And all, you see Hector Herrera drinking tequila at a Grupo Firme concert in Houston. That's what Moleros is. Moleros is nice stadium, nice AC, nice field, very comfortable, make you soft. You don't have those games where you go out of your country and face opponents and actually
But
test you mentally and physically.
well, I mean, the thing is, with like I could see kind of the FMF reasoning where they're like, all right, we play the official tournaments in Mexico, and then we play friendly games outside because then you do have to throw a bone to the fans here in the U.S. And when you look at where they're getting the majority of the money, it's in the U.S. What they get in Mexico is peanuts compared to what they're getting here. Um, and so that's also important to know. Like they're getting massive amounts of money here, and so to and then as fans, I mean, I'm not complaining. I've seen Mexico play like a lot of great teams and great players. So I'm like, I'm cool with what the setup, you know.
Oh, but what other national team uh ignores its main fan base to accommodate? Well, we all know Mexico's in a unique situation or has two natural fan bases. But what like you think that's actually a good thing that they ignore Mexico so much? I know the money is over here, but
But
they're giving the cold shoulder to their native fans.
I don't think like they're hosting some World Cup games.
That's
They
now though.
hosted the whole under 17 tournament. They had the Olympic qualifiers. They've had what an under 17 cup. So I'm telling you they get all the juicy games. We're just getting moleros. Like why will you complain if
We get the
you're
Gold Cup.
complaining that you're
What do
not?
you mean? We get the
They,
Gold Cup.
but that's we don't really get it because they're
But
giving it
it's
to
a
Mex.
senior
It's
tournament.
because
It's a senior tournament. When's the why do we
well
take
when
the Gold Cup
Mexico
home and
wanted
put it
to
in
they
Azteca?
hosted it. They did, but they haven't wanted to because I don't know logistics. Because then the money again, it's
Wait,
just too much money being made here.
oh, but that's ironic from them though, because then they go out and say, "Oh, the these tournaments don't sell in Mexico. That's why we bring them to the U.S." Yeah, that's true. But how are you, like Pastor said, how are they gonna get excited if you're just bringing them Mexico and against Suriname, against Barbados, against Barbados Junior, and what other countries they have, man?
I can't even tell you the last time there was a game in Mexico. When was the last time Mexico played in Mexico?
They
Yeah,
usually play before the World Cup. They play one of the going away games at
They're not
Azteca.
even having a juego de despedida in Mexico.
that's what I'm saying. They're ignoring their main audience.
The main audience is here, man. They
Because
could
they know
they
if
could
they have a
they could
game in El
forget about
Azteca,
Max and they'll be fine.
they know if they have a despedida in el Estadio Azteca, they're gonna get thrown
Yeah, super wings.
tomatoes.
Fuera Tata.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, they could have it like in maybe
Um,
Jalisco or someone like Monterrey, one of those
yeah.
stadiums, and warmer reception.
Real quick, we do have a few spots left for speakers. We have another request, so let's hear from the fans. Abdias, welcome to the show. Thanks for hopping on.
What is up, guys? I'm gonna do the traditional radio thing and be, yo, you know what? Long time listener, first time caller. Absolutely love the show, guys. But now that we're talking about moleros and shit like this, I want to put my 2 cents in. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the chat, but like, yo, are moleros making us soft? Is it watering down the whole thing? Like, yo, I got called up to put on my verde. And now I'm gonna go play in Houston where I'm still gonna get booed. I don't really give a fuck about it anymore. Like, yeah, I got called up, pero ¿qué me cuesta? ¿Qué estoy ganando? ¿Me van a mentar la madre sin el juego? ¿Hasta qué voy?
Good point.
I don't think it's making them soft. I do think it's it's hurt the Mexico not being in Copa America and like Copa Libertadores. I think that benefited them a lot. But but overall, like as far as like
I think it makes the
Like,
players soft. They play their Moledo games, and they go to designer stores, spend some money, have a good time,
Some
Yes,
dress
that's
like
hey,
true.
tourists.
somebody
but
It,
on
see,
the
it's not bringing no from a sporting perspective. It's not bringing any advantage. For you can make the argument Federacion makes money, invest in youth teams wherever you want, but from the senior point from players, there is zero advantage to Moledo game. It's making
well,
them
no,
soft.
because they're getting a call up. That's not
No,
zero.
they could get a
That's
call up
an
and play
advantage
Mexico.
for.
They could get a call up play in Bolivia. It doesn't matter. A call up, but the thing is, there it's like think about it like hard labor, where Mexicans working hard labor, and then you got Mexicans sitting in an office 40 hours a week. That's what it is now. There's no more hard labor. There's just soft.
Yeah,
Like,
but
mira, I'm
you
gonna
don't
let you
you don't
finish
go to
about the
the.
whole getting a call up. But the thing is, yeah, how many people have been called up, and now we're seeing the list, and it's like that. You've called all up all these people who are at better moments, have better football, pero te estás quedando con los que ya te llevaste al principio, right? Like we're missing out on all of this other stuff that we could have corrected. We could have done better if we would have utilized the moletos correctly. But instead, it seems like the moleros have become a point where we are stagnant, and that's why the fan base is getting really angry because like, hey, es un juego molero. We're supposed to win this, and yet here we are struggling. So what is happening?
yeah, well, what's happening is players are going to the malls. There's somebody on the subreddit that says I just ran into Raul Jimenez and Orbelin at the mall.
Mm.
they're
And I
over,
didn't think
they're
That's
that
over
was
always
here on
happening.
my,
been though, man.
they're over here on vacaciones, bro.
Pinche
Yeah,
Jimenez don't got malls in England or what?
but
They don't have
but
Orange Julius.
hey, uh,
Sbarros.
Diaz brings up some good points, man. And all these points we've been echoing for the longest time, and it seems like nothing ever changes. Like I mentioned before too, that I disagree with Joel. I mean, yeah, these guys they do look at they do look at it as a vacation, as a mini vacation. They, like you said, they go to malls, they take their selfies and they upload them. They have a good time. And like when after that Gold Cup in Las Vegas, when they lost 1-0 against that bunker ball against the USA, well, what Hector Herrera say? It doesn't matter if we win or lose. You guys are still going to criticize me, so it doesn't matter to me. If that's not being comfortable and not being worried about what people have to say about you, then I don't know what is.
Yeah, I think the social media has changed the game. Um, it's now in your face every single day. If you have a bad game or if you're not up to scruff, like people are gonna talk shit to you online. And I don't know. I guess like a lot of players on the national team have kind of just like tuned out and they're kind of just taking the easy way out. I mean, we saw what Herrera's doing. He went to Houston. It's just like I don't know, bro. We're at a point right now where it's all about the money. It's all about the social media. It's all about the likes and the popularity, and it's not about the actual like
Sport.
performance on the pitch.
Yeah.
And that's why I say it makes them soft because Herrera said that in Vegas. I want Herrera to say that after losing in Azteca and that bus trying to make itself out of the stadium, and they're gonna get him, rocks and everything thrown at him because the fans are gonna be disrespected and pissed. He feels comfortable in the U.S. saying those things because he feels he's untouchable due to the security and all those benefits that come with playing in the U.S.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's a different crowd. I mean, let's be honest. Like the type of fans that go to these games in the United States, not the same crowd that's in Mexico, where they will take matters into their own hands. They'll egg your car. They won't let you leave the training camp. Like it's a different level
Bro,
over
that's
there.
literally what I was thinking. I was like, hey, how long is it gonna be until they start putting eggs on the cars of the Mexican players and things like that? Like, because let's be honest, and you guys kind of mentioned it earlier, the Mexican fan base is toxic as fuck, right? Like, we're
True.
never happy.
Yeah,
And
and that
then
is something I do want to bring up. I'm not saying, hey guys, go ahead and win the World Cup. Look at Belgium. Belgium has so much talent, and they haven't even come close to
Look at
like
Holland, bro.
Yeah.
Holland. So I'm not saying like yo Mexico, Herrera, all these guys got to get their ass together and put us in semifinals and the final. But I'm just saying like for like their comfort, their mentality, their lack of effort, that is what pisses us off. It's
Hmm.
not like I'm saying, yo, how come you guys don't have us in the final? No, we're being realistic as well. We're definitely far, majority of Mexican fans think that every year we should be in the World Cup semis or something. I'm not saying that, but it also pisses us off that we know the amount of talent and potential that's there, and this is being wasted, not just from the players, but like from the guys who make the big decisions.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I'm gonna show my hand, man. As a Cruz Azul fan, that's literally it every year. Every time, I'm just like, come on, bro. You have so much better, and you can't do it. And then the last thing that I wanted to say was one of the things is we talked about how we are no longer playing in Mexico, right? And I've been doing some research and I've kind of been looking it up, and it's like, well, one of the other things is we stopped playing day games in Mexico City in El Azteca.
Yep.
What was the biggest thing
Yeah.
about Mexico? You're in the altitude. It's hot as hell. You
Yes.
can't breathe
And
there,
smog.
and that's no longer a thing. That hasn't been a thing for years.
TV
So prime time. So
for
ya no
here for
empieza
the
el
U.S.
Azteca.
I will make the argument though. Another reason that's not a thing no more is that we have more players in Europe now, where it's no longer an advantage because now it's something they also have to adapt to as well as the
Yeah, but
rival.
you could call players from America, Cruz Azul, Pumas. You could build a good team
Yeah,
from
but
those
when's the last time
squads.
we had like an official match, like a World Cup qualifying match, and all 11 guys or the majority are from the local league? The majority of
I don't
teams are
know,
going
but
to
I
be
mean,
composed
when
of like European-based players. So if you bring somebody that plays in Napoli at sea level and you try to have them play in Azteca at noon, it's probably going to affect them just as bad as the opposing
Yeah,
team.
there is no
yeah,
advantage
that
anymore.
no, that's why I'm saying you could still call some of the better players from the league,
Yeah, I mean, you could do a domestic based squad that
and
is,
and
you
some
Do
know,
of
what
them will do
Argentina
better.
did when they went against what was it? New Zealand
yeah, but that was
que se llama
different.
Puro América.
Yeah. We could have taken like the America Water Boys and beaten New Zealand, bro. That was a those guys are
But yeah,
semi
I
pro.
mean, for a lot of like World Cup qualifying and games like that, I do think Mexico can compete with majority local talent. It doesn't have to
Domestic
be
based.
just,
Yeah.
but yeah, because what have we also been seeing is the Euro-based players underperforming. So I'd rather than have someone that traveled so tired and can't hang. Rather have the local guy he's on fire and
Yeah.
he's hungry, and I'd rather have that dude right
It's like
there.
you don't have to worry
And
about the
then
jet lag, you don't
that
have to worry
well
about
then that
traveling.
makes the other guy work harder now because he's like,
Yeah.
oh shit,
So
this
you're
is
saying
gonna
the
take my
European guys
spot.
are soft?
I don't think they're soft. I just think that they don't have competition a lot of times, so they don't have to worry as much as like someone's gonna take my spot. There's not like that much competition compared to like the if you look at the bigger teams and there'll be like three or four players competing for the starting spot.
I do think that there is an advantage with having cohesiveness, and I mean, unfortunately a lot of the times this is like their first time all playing together. You know, you play at Napoli, you play at Wolves, you play at Sevilla. It's like this is the only opportunity they actually get to play with each other, and like they might be out of sync or they might not be familiar with like their movements and all that. Whereas you take Chivas players, America players, they all know each other very well,
Well,
and boom, like you put them in the national
and
team, and you don't have to worry about the traveling, you don't have to worry about the jet lag, and you'll probably get similar or better results if I'm being completely honest.
well, what you're talking about is something we've said here a couple years back, which is what we've seen with the South American teams because they're composed of all these players that play in all the different leagues, and and when they go to the selección, a lot of them they're not used to playing together, and so what we've been seeing is Europe has been dominating or winning all the World Cups since what was it, '98? I think from no wait, except for what when the Brazil
Oh,
win it,
Brazil won
2002.
2002. Yeah.
But pretty much all of them since '98 until the last one, all except for that one, has been all like European winning, and that has a lot to do with it. And you look at some of these squads that have won. Look at like Spain, majority of players from Real Madrid, Barcelona. You look at Italy, majority of players from like Milan, Juventus. Look at
Well, if
Germany,
yeah,
majority of players from Bayern Munich. And it's like,
and more
you know,
importantly, they're all the majority of the national team comes from the domestic league that they play in. So like even France, the one that just won the World Cup in 2018, yeah, you have some outliers that play at Madrid or whatever, but for the most part, the base of the national team, they all play in League 1. So it's like there's truth
or
to
they
that.
play together. They play together for a long
Yeah.
time, um, and so I think that has hurt the teams from over here, and also Mexico has to an extent where we see majority of players abroad now compared to like we were talking 94, the team from 93, 94, right? And and now they haven't surpassed what that team did because 93, 94, Copa America final, get out of the group death at the World Cup, they actually won the group. If I'm not, did they win the group? Uh, Anyways, and then some of those players were still around for the '99 Confederation, and so you look at like the majority of Mexico's success, it's been with local, like even Olympics, right? Majority of local based players.
But do you think that'll fly now?
I mean, it should, but I mean, I think we already bought the idea that you have to be abroad, that you have to be playing at Champions League, that you have to be at those big teams, and that somehow that just is gonna correlate with the national team. And it's like, well, there's a lot of examples where that didn't really help, where you had teams like Nigeria, Ghana, not too long ago, Chile, Colombia, with and they had some good runs, but like they didn't exactly stay consistent. If you look at like you compare those teams I just mentioned, compare them to Mex been more consistent.
They have hope, but what happens at the end of the day? They always end up meeting a certain team
It's
that has
Argentina.
elite players. Like for let
That
me
they wear the
just
bicolor también.
what
That
was
team
that?
that wear the bicolor, because every sad memory that I have in the World Cup is with them.
Yeah, well, that could be true too. No, but let's take this past weekend for example. Where in let's say we do have a domestic based team. Where let's say we go with a team like that to the World Cup, and they face a guy like Vinicius. The guy's literally a damn road runner. Like
Hey, what
how do you
I
defend
heard
that
I
if you've never seen it before?
what look what they were saying. Going to 2014 World Cup Brazil. They were saying that was it Croatia midfield was gonna kill Mexico, Rakitic and Modric. Mexico had no answer, and you get Gallito, 5'2" Gallito, and he bossed him,
He
dude.
fucking owned them, bro.
And so I'm gonna say, like, when had they seen a Gallito, dude?
When have they
They
seen
never.
Speedy
What the fuck?
Gonzalez?
But
That
what
was
happened in the next World
that was
Cup? They
Don
went to
Gallo.
the final.
I
Well,
mean, but
what happened the game
they didn't
after?
play
It was
Mexico,
basically
man.
the
They should
same
have played.
team, though. You could make the argument to how Germany won the World Cup in 2014 and
No, but the
2018. They
argument
had a
is
bad World
facing those.
Cup. You could make the argument that Croatia just had a bad World Cup and then they turned up in 2022.
No,
No,
but
sorry,
the argument
2018.
here is how do Mexican, like the league based players, how are they gonna measure up to the Euro counterparts?
Yeah, but
And
at the
it's
end of the
like,
day, they're measuring up in the group stage. Where's the big step, the next step?
yeah, but I mean that like Croatia, that just we you see it every now and then with some of the teams like South Korea and Turkey, that they just go on a good run and end up having a good tournament. It's like
Or
Liguilla,
Russia?
like you could have a team in Liguilla, Querétaro, whatever, and Puebla ends up going through a good run. That doesn't mean that they're really good teams. They just had a
Well,
really good
outside of
tournament.
Brazil, Argentina, and Uruguay, what other team can make a run
Well, not,
from the Latin American teams?
No
yeah,
one.
but I mean,
No one. It doesn't matter if it's domestic league or European. None of them can make. They don't have the. I don't even know what they don't have, but they just don't have it to make that run.
Wait, did you say Uruguay?
Uruguay sometimes. I mean, not always, but they're probably like third. Like
Yeah.
Brazil and Argentina have the best chances of making a good run, and
What about
Uruguay
the
right
United
behind them.
States, bro? The world power of the United States.
Well, that's thanks to us because we shit the
We
bed
make
that
them
one
better.
time.
but you
That
know,
was
like
our
those.
year.
What if we take all the LeBron James that are in the United States and have them play soccer? What would that look like?
Like 11 Freddie Adu's.
Freddie wasn't from the United States though. He's from Ghana or some Cameroon, somewhere over there.
Yeah, he's from Ghana. Yeah, man,
Look,
I love this episode. A lot of action, a lot of speakers. Thank you guys. We're at the 2 hour mark, so I'll
oh
let you guys
snap!
do
All right.
your closing thoughts before we wrap up this show. Start with Abdias. Abdias. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong.
That's right, man. I'm Diaz. No problem. So I guess my closing thoughts is so how do we fix the league, right? Do we because yes, we can compete with a Mexican-based liga, La Liga, compitiendo en equipo nacional, if that's what we're basing off. But the problem is we have so many extranjeros that our youth isn't being developed. So therefore, how can we radically redefine the league
Right,
in order to build
right,
stat
right
like
there. You said
talent
it, man.
even?
Our
Get
league
rid of
can't
the
even beat
majority of those
MLS All
bums.
Stars.
No,
Los
I think
Liga
too.
bro, like even the extranjeros that come in, they're not coming in at their top tier anymore.
Yeah,
Like those are going to MLS, they're going elsewhere. So what's happening with our liga? We're lacking.
I do think it's too many extranjeros. There was an interview with I think it was Luis Miguel Salvador. I think he was GM of Monterrey at the time, and he was talking about an FMF, no, not a Liga MX meeting where they were saying that the reason why they increased the number of foreigners was to try to like compete in the international market with the top leagues. And so they were trying to
Mm-hmm.
make the league more like I don't know, more attractive to international. I think that was a mistake. Uh, I think if we look back to when Liga MX had just three or four extranjeros, some of these guys were sick. They were like at another level, like Aguinaga and Cardoso. And you saw some of these teams that played really good. I still haven't seen teams that play to that level. Like if you see some of the goals Toluca was scoring, they're
Hmm.
just insane. That Toluca team, some of these other teams too. There's more, but off the top of my head, not to, yeah, Toros Nesa. I'm thinking Toros Nesa as well. That team was really fun to watch. But I mean, back then you saw some of the level of so of the foreigners are like just pretty high, and I think if there was less foreigners, the teams could concentrate on these three or four players that we're bringing from abroad are going to be really good. Because a lot of times they just bring a lot of players that are just it's almost like a crapshoot. It's like they're just taking a chance on these guys, and then the youth they end up getting pushed to the side.
Yeah, like you guys are gonna remember this. I'm probably gonna get it wrong. The 11-23 rule, where you had to play menores.
Yeah,
Whatever happened?
it,
¿Qué
the
desapareció?
teams didn't like. I know teams didn't like it, and I didn't think it helped either because it's like you were just forcing teams to like give give X amount of minutes to the youth, but it's like I never saw how it really helped.
Yeah, I mean, all right. 3 things that you can do to immediately improve the league. Number one, get yourself back in Libertadores. That is the number one priority.
Yes, agree.
Get
Yes.
back in Copa Libertadores. Get back to Copa Sudamericana. Like, do whatever it takes to get back in there. Number two, bring back the Copa Mekis because if you're not going to give the opportunity for young kids to play in the league. I get it. It's a short season. You don't have that opportunity to experiment or debut players. Copa MX, it's a great way to entertain the crowds. The second division teams have a chance at a title, and you're most likely going to use a B side for that. You're going to give opportunity to the reserves and to the bench warmers of your club. And we were starting to see a lot of great moments in Copa MX when it was in action. And the third step, which you guys just said, is to basically like incentivize clubs to use their youth players. Um, punish them financially if they don't hit a threshold of minimum minutes for young players, and also reward teams. Reward teams that are actually playing a lot of young players, a lot of Mexican players. I think that's the only way you can get anything done in Mexico is money. So there's an incentive to go back to Libertadores because of the money. There's an incentive for Copa MX because of TV ratings and all that. And there's an incentive to debut young players and give young players a chance. Or there's a penalty if you don't. So I think like if you're gonna get anything going on in Mexico, you have to have the little carrot. You have to basically show the little carrot in front of them and have them chase it.
Yeah, and to add to that real quick, Liga MX will make the argument that we can't have Copa MX because we have Leagues Cup and all this stuff with the U.S. Uh, Here's the thing: the U.S. also has a U.S. Open Cup. My town has a fourth division team that plays in the U.S. Open Cup. That's their version of Copa MX. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep saying that every episode. Liga MX, Federación Mexicana, they don't give a damn about the sporting aspect. They just care about the money, and they'll invest a little bit into it to make it look like they care. As long as the dollars are coming in, that's their biggest priority.
Yeah, I agree with you. I always felt that they haven't taken advantage of that cup, and I do think when Mex like looks abroad for answers, like they'll try to like emulate Europe, but I think they should be closer to like to home where it's like okay, what kind of like what is Brazil doing? What is Argentina doing? Well, at least one thing they have in common, if you look how many foreigners they have, they only have like two or three per team. Some of them have rules where it's like um, you can't have more than that, like on the field. And it's like, well, in that, that's a big reason why they're always churning out so much talent because they're giving their players so much playing time. If you look at Uruguay, even that's like it's very, um, it's very impressive how it's like a lot of their fields, a lot of their installations and all that are just like very third world, They're playing in messed up fields compared to Mex, which Mex you could compare a lot of the stadiums and whatnot, their training and all that to European ones.
Awesome. Ricardo, any closing thoughts? I know you had a lot to brag about this episode. Again, congratulations to America for winning the Clásico.
They won, and he's spoken the least of America.
That's true, Ho, but that's just
There's no
the,
need, huh?
so there's no need, and the fact that I enjoy whenever FMF gets called out on their shit, man. But like Jaime said, I had a great weekend. Aside from that boring Canelo fight, everything went, and of course my Newcastle drawing 1-1. Aside from those two things, I had a excellent weekend. But if yes, but if you guys don't mind, I'd like to add something that's off topic. I was watching the Real Madrid against Atletico Madrid match,
Boring ass match.
and I agree. But
Blame Atletico for that.
I just wanted to point the double standards in something. The the
The mono chant,
Vinicius,
puto
yeah,
chant.
Vinicius was being criticized for doing his little dance, right? And they had like their own the Spanish pundits in that show El Chiringuito and shit. The guy pretty much called him the N word on live TV, right?
Did he really?
He called him a mono.
Oh, is that why Roberto Carlos was tweeting like
Yeah,
a
a
monkey,
monkey.
a monkey?
Yeah, and everywhere else in the world that speaks Spanish knows that when you call someone that,
Yeah.
you're calling them a monkey, and
Yep.
by calling them a monkey, you know what you're calling them. And then their response is saying, "Oh, over here it means something different. It means being called a dum dum or tonto,
No.
right?"
Hey
But
man, it can
Hey,
mean
maybe.
whatever they want to say, but calling a black person a monkey, I mean,
It's like Cavani. He got in trouble for calling one of his comrades Negrito, right?
yeah,
Oh,
no,
but that's different. I wouldn't
no,
compare that.
that's different. One thing's like mi negrito, and another thing's saying mi mono. Come on
No,
now.
no, but that's what I'm saying. Like he got in trouble for saying that
Yeah, and it got
in
leaked. It
England.
wasn't it like a WhatsApp conversation that got leaked.
It was like a comment on his IG story. It wasn't even like yeah,
yeah, it was on his IG.
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
but
but that
what I wanted to mention. Sorry about you guys. You guys, I love this show. You guys bring up some great points. But what was really me estaba cagando los huevos was they say that right, and no one blinks an eye, no one says anything. But then we take it to the Mexico side of things, and they credit. You have FMF
you mean the chant?
about the puto chant, and we have the same argument. It doesn't
Oh,
mean what you
it's
guys think
here.
it means.
Well,
Yeah,
because it comes down to the sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
yeah. See,
Spain
you
has
missed
sponsors
you.
too.
No, but not in the U.S. So you like massive sponsors, not to the point that Mexico has, and
No,
that's
but
who
it's
puts
still
the
double
pressure of.
standards,
Let
You're
Joel.
talking
but
about La
look,
Liga. You
No,
didn't tell
it's
me
not
La
that
double
Liga don't have
standards.
big
It's
that
like
show
sponsors.
we're in
isn't
the.
that
You
show
tell me
isn't
La
broadcast
Liga
in the United States, is
sponsors.
it?
It's not. It
Yeah.
but see, because we're seeing it as right here as gringos as pochos, and so that's our lens. But over like they don't care, dude. In most parts of the world, they're not gonna care. Because when was it? When Tecatito got to Sevilla, they tweeted "Ya
Yeah,
llegué, putos" or
yeah,
something.
yeah, llegamos, yeah.
Not dude, nothing, nothing. There was
Yeah.
crickets.
Well,
And
yeah.
so I'm saying with the whole Mexico thing in the social media, which started when it was around 2014, and people started making, and it was through social media where, like the people started like making a big issue about it, and
Not
then,
people,
uh,
Joel. Let's be specific. It's Snowflake USA fans.
well, not just USA fans. There's
Facts.
a lot of
Well, think
Mexico
about it,
fans
bro.
that I knew Mex fans that used to say that word, and all of a sudden they're on Twitter trying to preach.
Yeah.
Latinx.
You know what I mean? And I was like, dude, I've seen you say worse. But
Well, think
it
about it.
was a
It's
lot of
like
people.
the national team has State Farm, it has Wells Fargo, it has what
Yeah,
Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. It has these big ass companies throwing crazy money.
McDonald's. Yeah.
They can't have the puto thing anywhere surrounding the. They can't even have that thought, So it's different.
No,
El
Yeah.
you're right,
El
Jaime. But
Chiringi, whatever that show is, like, dude, no one's in the United States even has access to that show unless they have like a VPN or
No.
they have satellite. It's not the same.
no,
They
you're right. I
Well,
was just gonna say. I was gonna say real quick. Sorry to interrupt you guys, but yeah, I wasn't so much mentioning. Yeah, I mentioned the show for reference, but let's not forget. I was gonna mention these games are shown on ESPN, which is an American company, and you watch when that Rodrigo scored the goal. You could hear them making those monkey sounds.
Oh wow.
oh
So
yeah.
that's not really
There's
a good
been
look
yeah.
either. And
No.
that's what I was getting to. The
Yeah,
the
but
Snowflake USA fans criticize us for our shit, but they won't say anything about them over there.
I don't think those were like the majority were like USA fans. It was more like through social media, where you've had like a group of people that are kind of like a witch hunt, kind of like trying to say, like trying to say like moral police, like if you're saying this is what you mean, even though we could have different meanings, but it's like my meaning is the one. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah, but they imposed their meaning on us, man.
Well, yeah,
Facts,
because
They're
bro.
of
It's
the
like
commies.
someone
sponsors.
explaining my own culture to myself. It's like, no, bro, this is our soccer culture. Like, I
Yeah,
would die. I will go to my grave. It is not a homophobic chant. Like,
It's
not
yeah,
at
it's
all,
not.
bro.
Yeah, and I use that example of like we know it's not homophobic because Carlos Salcido, this dude got caught plenty of times with uh with dudes, in Brazil and sending dick pics and all that. And this dude, when he was playing in Mexico, no one told him a thing. No one would yell when he touched the ball. No one said anything. No one even cared.
Chivas
And so,
legend, right?
No
yes,
más el portero.
he's-
But I don't care how you slice it or dice it. It's double standards. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
well, I mean, from here, from like, because we're talking about like something that's been going on for a while now with like, it more through social media where it's like you could say something and it's like, oh, that view is racist or the view is misogynist or it's whatever, and we've seen people lose their jobs over that. Like the
Yeah. You
the
know,
dude from the pizza guy, what's his name?
The Papa Johns.
Yeah, he was saying it as he wasn't even saying the word. He was referencing it from someone
yeah.
else that said.
It's
Just
crazy
that was
is
enough.
we're we're
That was
go-
enough.
we're going to a World Cup in Qatar, and like I'd like to see what happens if two guys, straight guys, hold hands. I'm curious to see what happens to them in Qatar.
Oh,
Exactly.
prison.
I think at the stadium they'll be
Stonians.
safe. They'll be safe at the stadium, in the whatever so
Then that
outside
girl,
of that.
that WNBA player that got held up in Russia, there she had like less than a gram of weed,
Not
and that
sure.
Oh yeah, that big boy dude. The
yeah, I'm pretty sure she had less than a gram, and that's been the big fuzz. But
Yeah.
that's their law. That's their can't have more than a gram or less than a gram or whatever.
But there's
Here it's
people
like no
here
big
they
deal.
got locked up here. They got people there's people still locked up here for a similar offense when it was illegal.
Yeah. Al Pastor, do you have any closing thoughts before we wrap up episode 350?
Yes. My closing thoughts: club over country. So on the Chivas end, I want Nene, Vega, Piojo to come back healthy, ready for Liguilla. On the Madrid end, I want Duchameni, Rodrigo, Vinny come back healthy as well. Madrid, Chivas, we got a big games coming up. As far as selección, I could care less.
All right. I love it. Joel, you back on dish duty? What's going on?
No, wait, does it sound like I'm washing dishes?
Yeah. It always sounds
I'm
like you're
just
doing
pacing.
something else.
No, it's just
You
pacing.
don't
I'm just
deserve your
pacing.
attention or what?
Yeah.
No,
What's
no, I'm thinking.
team team Mandilon or what, Joel?
No, not tonight. Tonight
Oh, okay.
is my free day. I was painting earlier. I paint,
um so are you gonna go to the game on Saturday?
I was gonna go just for Jaime. I said I'll get to hang out with Jaime. Maybe he busted out with. I'm not even gonna be there. And I don't like going to the Rose Bowl. I don't like the drive there.
Oh,
I never enjoyed it. So I don't know. I'm on the fence with that.
damn. All right. Fair enough.
Closing thoughts, just to my Chi hermanos. I know the pitchforks and the torches are out for Cadena again. They think the team sucks again. Two defeats in a row, Tigres, now America. But I think he did a pretty decent job. I'm happy with that guy.
I'm happy with his business shirt, man. I want to get me one of those. Those are nice. I want to wear that to work.
With the little
Doesn't it
Chiva
have the
logo in the
Chivas
back.
logo on it?
Yeah, that shit's
With,
Hey,
clean.
I'm not gonna lie. Those do look pretty professional on him.
Yes, sir.
He
on
said
him,
on
which
him.
is gonna say Jaime can't wear it.
He said Jaime looks like a bum.
Nah, he's just. I think he's saying,
He looked like a busboy.
if Michele Año was wearing that, probably not.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys all for hopping on tonight. It was a lively one. 350. Obviously, the controversy got everybody in here today. We have some Partidos Moleros over the weekend. I'll be there at Levi's, Santa Clara, Tuesday. So if you're in the Bay Area, if you see me, say hello. I'll be in the press box covering the game. And we'll see what happens. We're going to have a weekend without Liga MX. Hopefully everybody can survive. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much. Peace.